Everybody, go ahead.
All right, there's roast on camera. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for jumping in and joining us today. So today is the first Tuesday of the month, and we just do a mastermind on the first Tuesday. Every other Tuesday, we bring in guest speakers that are doing things at a high level. And so we've got some great speakers lined up for you guys this month on Tuesdays. But today, like I said, we're just doing an open mastermind. And we just want to talk about what you want to talk about. And so if there's something that's pressing, questions you have, problems you're having, if you want to talk about this NAR lawsuit, whatever it is that you guys want to talk about, we've got a lot of great agents on here, and more heads are better than one. Or more brain. What's that saying? More minds are better than one mind, or something.
Two heads are better than one. I don't know.
Yeah. 2 heads are better than one. But yeah. And so let's just kick it off. Who has something that they want to start talking about or have questions about? And let me just say, guys, if you're not speaking, if you'd mute your mic, that would be super helpful, just for background noise too.
Doing a couple things over here. There we go. Who wants to kick us off? Who's got some things they want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? First Tuesday of the month. Anything, marketing, a deal, questions, what's working for you, what's not working for you, what the NAR settlement. I don't know, that's the hot topic these days. Anybody worried about the NAR settlement?
Yeah, why don't we just...
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Jeff,
go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
You were on the meeting yesterday with Don Yoakum. I don't know if you can break those numbers down where he was talking about you want to get 30 home sales every year, get a database full of 300 clients, touch 5 of them every day. You kind of walk through the numbers, but the things he threw out, which I would put down, is brokers move every 5 years. Icon agents move every 5 years. So if you're calling those kind of folks, even though this is obviously for production, it's a combination of production and attraction, what he went through yesterday. But can you break some of those numbers down, Kathy? Did you take some notes on that?
Do not have them right here with me. Yeah, you should have texted me ahead of time.
I don't know. I was fascinated when he walked through the numbers, but to get only 300 clients in your database, touch 5 every single day, said if you do that consistently, it should eventually lead to 30 sales every year by just maintaining your database and following up.
Well, to that point, and we can start about that. I mean, I have always heard, and I've not tracked my numbers over the years as closely as I should, but every 100 agents in your database will garner between 8 and 10 sales. And so 300 would make sense that it's 30 sales, right? But it is, how do you work those 300? And what he's saying is you got to touch 5 of them a day, every day. For those of you who have been in the Keller Williams model or are in the Keller Williams model, I mean, they've got the 33 touch plan that's in his book, the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And it's a 33 touch program per person in your database of how to communicate with them. And so, Gary Keller's philosophy is you touch your clients 33 times a year to maximize your database. So let's throw that out there. Who has a great systematic plan that they utilize in touching their database? Over the recent years.
I was going to say real quick, because Sean Corbett, just a few weeks ago, like a month ago, whatever, Sean did a great training on his sphere and what he does with his sphere and how he works his sphere. What does 40 plus deals a year, from his sphere. So anyway,
your database, Sean.
So it is a systematic, right? So I started a year ago. I just had to start with first name people that knew me by first name. That's what I started with. And I went through my phone of about 4,000 or 5,000 people, and I got it down to about, I'd say probably 400 to 500 first name, probably another 800 secondary, which means we're operating in the same space, but they may or may not know me by first name, and I want to stay in front of them also. So I started with that. That took me months to get all of that completely done. And I use a program, Contact Plus, If you guys have ever heard of that, it allows you to manage it all, all of your contacts in a online and things like that. Where I have Apple, Contact Plus makes it way easier to manage all of it. And then for each person, I assign them one of 4 tags: primary, secondary, other, which means like people that I don't need to stay in front of, like a title person or an inspector. I may not need to stay in front of them. They're just professionals that I know. And then the 4th one would be agents. For all of you that are doing any type of attraction, I mean, I have at least 1,500, 2,000 agents in my line too. So when I'm ready to start offering value to the agents, I have them in my database as well. And what I heard, I read a couple of books on this before I really dove into it. And the thing that I heard was 40 touches a year. Okay. And 40 touches is, I do the newsletter. I use Keeping Current Matters. I think a lot of you, probably everybody in this call, has heard of that program. I waited like, I finished late spring. I did not send out my first newsletter till December. Okay. So I wouldn't recommend that. All you have to do is get your database going and then sign up for Keeping Current Matters, and you can immediately kind of start rolling. So, Keeping Current Matters is what I used for my newsletter. And that's 12 touches right off the bat, right? If I just do it once a month. I know Jeff does it. I know some of you do it. It's a pretty easy system. And what I use is pretty generic. The one I use is real simple. I use it through Boomtown. So KV Core, you can do this in KV Core, okay? You don't have to get all these other systems and stuff. But reason why I went with Boomtown is because they have a little bit better management system of email video marketing, okay? And that's the reason why I settled using Boomtown. KV Core was a little bit more difficult to manage the newsletter, creating it and sending it out. It was easier to do it through Boomtown. So that's the reason why I came up with that. And so that's 12 touches a year. Then I have something called Homebot. Everybody on here probably at some point has heard of Homebot. And it's basically a system to provide information about their home. And it looks at their home not as a place to live, but as an investment. And the reason why that's subtly different, anybody can sign up and do values, right? They can get on Zillow, they can ask you for CRMs, you can send CRMs. I'll answer you just a second, Teague. I'll call in, just give me a second. Homebot, it allows them to look at, and it looks at like your home on a daily like a daily rate. How many people, if you owned a home and you only thought of it, I got to sell this thing to buy my next house, you would have never even thought about a daily rate. So I just finished another house I bought a couple months ago in Flower Mound, and there's a house in my neighborhood, and I'm priced probably about $2,700 a month is probably my rent. There's a house in my neighborhood at $6,500 a month in my neighborhood that I have this house. I didn't even think about doing a daily rate on my own house, and I'm in the business of doing this as an investment. So even I look at those type of things. So getting in front of your people on the Homebot program, and every time they have any type of connection with that system, you know it. Okay, that's another touch. Okay, that's a weekly touch, but I'm not going to maybe throw it in that funnel, but that's an easy touch you can also make. Trying to think what else I've got consistently. Obviously, social media touches. I create video content pretty regularly on educating my audience about how to win, with the appraisal district. That would be pretty valuable, right? Anyway, I keep going. So Teague, what do you have? What was your question?
Yeah, so I was wondering if you could just speak a little bit more to how Contact Plus helps you manage your contacts in a different way than any other CRM would. And then I also had a more specific question about KCM, which is, can you set up different groupings of different emails for customers that are looking in different areas of your market?
Yeah, I'll do that one quickly. You can tag is how they do it in KV Core. So you would tag them and say, I'm in Dallas-Fort Worth. I can say Flower Mound buyers looking between 500,000 and 800,000 because I do these open houses there regularly. I don't, but I'm giving you an example. So if I
Yep.
do a specific market I want to, and I keep running into these same type of people, then I want to stay consistently in front of them on those type of opportunities, right? If they're in
Yep.
that price range, I'm going to say, hey, by the way, I got this great insight on this house that's going to be listed, and then I'll just send it right to them.
Yep.
That you can do through KV Core, and you can send it to every person. The simplest way to think about it is you do the open house app on KV Core. You can send every person that's
I'm
tagged on that
sorry.
open house.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm not with EXP yet.
Okay. Well, the answer is yes.
Okay, great.
You can tag them. How about that? And then the other question, Contact Plus, the reason why it's valuable is one, you can open it and use it through your browser, and you can manage all of your data, and it automatically links with your Apple phone. I assume it can do Google. I use Apple. So it connects with the Apple, and everything I change. If I change it on my phone, it changes it in Contact Plus. If I change it on Contact Plus, it changes it on my phone. So it's really
awesome.
easy to manage.
So
I don't
every
want to
time
do
you
that.
add a new contact to your
Yes.
phone, it updates.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you add a tag at the very bottom of it. There's a way to create tags in your Apple phone. The other reason why Contact Plus is good is it is a conduit that will communicate with various sources of what you want to use it for. It can work with KV Core.
That's
It's an
great.
example. So it can update your KV Core database. And if I change it on my phone, it updates it in Contact Plus then updates it on KV Core. Okay. When you're trying to stay in front of people in a mass way, this is a more effective way to do it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I've worked in real estate for almost 15 years before I even had a sphere of influence, before I realized that I'm losing money. I mean, all of you know, if you work with people you trust, like, and respect, that's your network of people that know you possibly by first name, and you can build that relationship. It doesn't take a whole lot of conversion. Any lead that I get, because I don't work cold leads. So every lead that I get, I don't have to convince anybody of anything. They already know I'm great. No, I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have to negotiate.
You're great, Sean.
Yeah,
you're good.
I appreciate that, Jeff. I'm trying to think. I'd have to go back to my scripts on kind of how I do it, but I've covered about 25 touches already. Other touches, you got to make a phone call probably twice a year to everybody in your first name, and that phone call is not about real estate. Let's all remember that, right? So we're not here, to say, hey, you selling houses. That's the only reason you call people. They're not going to want to have anything to do with you. We've all interacted on network marketing type people, right? The only conversation you have with those people that are totally all in is about that network marketing opportunity, and then you don't want to talk to them anymore. But here it's how are you doing? I'm not going to bring up real estate unless you do. That's that phone call twice a year, and you're going to get more conversions on that phone call than probably anything else you do. It's very important that you make a phone call. So I know it's kind of wheels off. Is this the first Tuesday meeting? So we just kind of talk.
First Tuesday, we're doing anything and everything. So I actually put Sean's recording in the chat from what he did for about a month ago or whatever it was. So anyway, it was a great training. He broke all this down for over an hour, and really, really good stuff. So you can click on that link or save that link, and it's there if you want to get all the details in that. But Sean does a great job with his database, and really they'll tell you should, 10% of your database should convert over every year to deals. So if you got 300 people in there, you should be getting, if you're working it right, it should lead to at least 30 transactions. It might not be directly from those people, but they're going to refer you other people and stuff because your name is in front of them. Somebody mentions real estate at work and they, you got to call my friend T, you got to call my friend Sean. I mean, whatever. And it's because your name is right there because you've been dripping on them, and you're right in the forefront of what they're thinking. So, but yeah, they'll tell you, and I ask people all the time on the phone, like when I'm talking to different agents, how big is your database? Oh man, I got like 400 people there. How many deals did you close last year? Yeah, I don't know, 3, 4. It's like, okay, come on. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you'll get that kind of stuff. It's like you're not working that database. You should have at least 40 if you're doing it right. And there's ways that we can help with that. These different ideas. So we talk about the video CMAs. I mean, that's another way to just be in touch. Everybody's asking them. Everybody wants to know what the market's doing right now. Everybody. It's just the hot topic with it between the economy and inflation and the NAR thing, and real estate is just in the forefront of everybody's mind right now across everybody. So that's another easy thing to do, to just add value, and you'll get into conversations with people. And now they want you to send a video CMA to one of their friends and my neighbor down the street and a coworker, and you can start building on that as well. So anyway.
Does anyone have questions about that CMA? Because Jeff, you explained it a couple of weeks ago in like 3 minutes. And
Yeah, I think we talked about some last month too. I mean, on here,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to, we talk about that. It's in those 7 top tips that Eric put out a few weeks ago, which if you have not watched that video yet, I would tell you to go watch that video. And, what we've done is we've taken on the EXP Freedom Team YouTube channel, that 7 top tips video that Eric put together, which was actually 9 in there. There's a couple bonuses in there, but we put all of the trainings in a playlist that those 7 top tips correlate to. So, if you find one, like Aaron Kinn's on there talking about, for 5 minutes, he talks about the Google business page and what he did with that. And so then you can go to that playlist and here's the full training on that, if that's something that resonates with you and you want to build that up. So we got it all kind of organized on there. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see that, but that's a great video if you haven't watched it yet. So
I'll put that in the chat.
okay. Yeah, for sure. So we got a call last week. I'll just share this, because again, I just share this all the time. We, as of October, I didn't have a Google business page. I mean, I just didn't. I mean, it was there, but I had done nothing with it. And, we set it up in October, based on Aaron's training. And, we had a call last Monday, a week ago, from a developer down in Pueblo, about 45 minutes south of us here. And Lane went to go meet with the guy. We're going back later this week or next week. We're just waiting to hear, but it's upwards of 120 homes to sell in new construction in this neighborhood, and 200 townhomes that he's going to be building. He's putting in a pool, a clubhouse, trails, dog park, pickleball court, all this stuff in this neighborhood, and the prices, which is great prices for us here in Colorado, for first time home buyers, they start at $289. They go up to like $349. And he's had it on the market for 2 years with a realtor. He's not happy with her. All she's done is put it on the MLS. He wants new marketing and he wants to get that thing cranked up and done. So we're in the running right now. I don't know yet that we're going to get it, whatever. But here's my point. He called us off that Google business page. That's where he found us. And if that comes to pass, if we get that deal, whatever, I mean, that could easily turn into $4 to $5 million in commissions when you add it all up. I mean, and he's doing a 6% commission on every deal that he does. He's got that worked into the price. I don't know. We're praying about it and we'll see what happens. If it's meant to be, great. If it's not, great. I'm good either way, but man, that would be nice. So we'll see. It's from our Google business page. Thank you, Aaron Kinn, for showing me how to do it, because I was clueless until then.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes.
What, and I don't know if you can tell me or, if anybody else can comment, but how do you approach builders, and like, what kind of deals do you cut with them? You can't really charge them, 6% or whatever, I would think, but I've been kind of curious about that for years. Like, what kind of, system structure do you offer builders? Do people offer builders? Because I see agents, and they represent builders. How do they do it? What do they offer them?
Right. And anybody wants to jump in on this. I mean, this builder actually contacted us. He's just a local builder, like he bought this land, and him and his brother are developing this land and stuff. It's a little bit different than like your, Lennars or US Home or, the big companies out there that are like corporate nationwide builders and stuff.
Yeah. And probably I'm not talking about those guys so much, but the smaller builders.
Right. I mean, you have the custom builders, which, I mean, again, a little bit different animal. I haven't done a whole lot with those over the years, necessarily. But like in this case, I mean, he contacted us and he wants marketing. Like the marketing he has in place right now, like we saw it, it's very weak, And so we've got some great ideas that we're just putting together. He's interviewing, I think, 3 or 4 agents, and we're one of them. Because he wants to see, what would you guys do if I hired you and you become my listing agent for all these properties and for this neighborhood. So we're just, we brainstormed together. Dave's on here, Dave Jameson. We got a few of our agents right here locally together, and we kind of brainstormed on it. We're putting together a PowerPoint to go down and meet him and just show him what we would do to market it, and then he'll pick who he wants to do. But he's got that 6% commission worked into his pricing, in terms of what he's doing. So that's what he's offering to do,
Your agent, you mean?
the
Oh,
builder.
the builder.
The builder, yeah. He's already got that worked in. That's what he's been paying. He's sold 42 homes so far over the last couple of years, and that's what he's paid out, and he's got that worked into all these deals. So every builder is going to be different in terms of how they do that. Those smaller builders or developers like that, but I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything to that. It's more of an individual type basis, but yeah, you just come up like we're looking at that neighborhood in that area and what we could do to market it. I mean, there's so many things that we could do in that neighborhood. Right. And the first thing, Lane drove right by it because there's no signs or anything. Where is this place? That was one of the first things we thought, well, let's get a big sign out there so people even know that this thing exists, and then we're talking all kinds of stuff. I mean, events with food trucks and holiday events and get people out there and different kinds of things we could do. And, the state fair is in Pueblo every year. We're going to, we could do this big thing at the state fair for 2 weeks and have a booth down there that we just man it for 2 weeks and get the word. I mean, there's so many different things we've come up with, everything from all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I don't want to get off topic here, but we'll see what happens with it.
That's great.
But again, if you don't have a Google business page, I'm just telling you, that's something you're missing out on. Even if it leads to 4 or 5 deals this year, like why not? It's free to set up, and if you maintain the thing, Google sees that as a viable business and you just get in higher and higher and higher in the search rankings over time, and especially as you get more and more reviews, that really builds there. So Kathy, is that the Google business training you just put in there?
Yeah.
Yep. Somebody asked. So there it is right there in the links if you want to use that. It was a 2-part training. That the first one was just how he set up his free page. The second training he did a few weeks later was Google local leads, which you do pay for that, but you can set the budget on that, and whatever that will just bring more traffic to your page if that's something you want to do as well. So.
Well, and also if you're with if you're with EXP, just go to the Freedom Team. Go to the Freedom Team workplace page. Yeah. So go there. We have all of our trainings right there for you guys. So you just go, you can key in Google Business and you'll see all the trainings or whatever topic we're talking about. But going back to this builder and to that question, that situation, who else has a comment or thought about that around that Maria asked about, has anybody gone out and tried to get a builder's business? And more importantly, have you gotten a builder's business and what did that look like? Has anybody
I
done
also
that?
have another question pertaining to Google, but we can get back.
Before we jump into Google, let's finish this topic that you had brought up, because I know Teague had put something in there, and so I think some people would like to get some, ideas. If anybody's got any ideas. One of the things that we talk about on another mastermind that I'm a part of is go out and find the land. Go out and find the land. And then, there's a lot of builders out there, but their problem is that they much of the time, they don't have the resources to go out and get the land or find the land. So we can go out and create our own business. If you find the land that's a decent piece of property to be developed, you can then find the builder or the developer for that property, and part of your spiel, if you will, bringing it to them is I get to be the listing agent on these properties, before you disclose what the property is. Look, I found a great piece of property, it's got 100 acres here. It's a great place to be developed, right? I'm looking for a developer. I'm looking for somebody to build on this property. And we go out there and create our own business. So that's just one way, that a couple of our agents have done that and had some great success doing that. So that's one thought. But does anybody here work with the builder?
Tracy, you unmuted yourself. I saw your comment there, apply with big brand builders. You want to talk about that at all? Anything?
Well,
You muted. There you go.
Yeah, when she first mentioned it, I thought she was thinking about the big brands. I was telling her to apply with them straight
Okay.
out.
Gotcha.
But I have gone to some builder meetings. I don't go consistently like I probably should to network. That may be a good way in. Of course, like Kathy said, finding that land. And I have land right there in Nashville. I need to go ahead and advertise it more and let them know that, hey, I need someone to come and develop, possibly build on it. And it's just out there on the MLS, but I don't push it like I should. So kind of energizes me to do that. Yeah.
To
Let
your
me-
point too, Tracy, in Nashville, and I don't know if I would imagine every city has this, every major city for sure. We have a new home builders association here, and they have meetings, and they're open to anybody to go to that. So Maria, that is another place you can go start networking, getting to know some of the big builders, some of the small builders, right? All of that. So this business, as we all know, and no matter what avenue we're looking to take, it's all a relationship business. And so if that's an avenue you're looking, I would encourage you to find out if there's a new builder.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
They're
Well,
builders.
I'm in
a
Houston.
home builder association there, and when
Yes,
their
home
meetings
builders.
are, and go to those.
Yeah, I've definitely gone to the ones in Georgia and Tennessee. So, but not consistently. I think it's that consistency that's going to get you in the door probably better.
I guess I was never really clear of, like, do you charge them like one set price, like $1,000 per, like to list it in the MLS? I had heard this agent that had done that, or, by percentage. I just was never, I had never discussed that with anybody, or never heard, a presentation like you guys are, like we're talking about today.
I mean, to me, it's no different than the conversation you're going to have with any seller. It's what value are you bringing to them? Are they going to give, we're in the middle of obviously this NAR stuff, but are they going to be open and willing to compensate a buyer's agent if they come in? What's the benefit for them being willing to do that? Right? What's the benefit of them being able, that you're going to have X commission? It's that part for the listing side is showing your value. What are you bringing to the table for them to pay you anything? $1,000, 1%, 2%, or 3%. It's establishing our value as an agent when we're having a conversation with the builder or a seller. And so
and I guess you have to be prepared and, have a good presentation and,
Yeah, for sure. I want to share something with you guys on this topic, just to get you thinking a little bit. I mean, again, some of you might take this and run with it. Carmelo's on here. Carmelo, good to see you down there in Florida. And he and I were talking this last week. I was on a Zoom mastermind last Thursday, and it's with a funnel thing that I've been working on, different things that I'm doing. And there was a guy, Phil Martin. He's an EXP agent down in Dallas. And something he's doing, I want to show you this just real quick, because again, this might just get you thinking. It's about this topic. So I'm going to share my screen here for a second. And if you go to Facebook, I'll just show you Martin Home Team. Let's pull him up here. Here's his business page. Okay. I want you to see this. This is off topic on this, but just if you ever see an ad that runs on Facebook from a realtor and you're intrigued by that ad, this is how you can kind of get into this a little bit and come up with your own stuff. If you go on any business page and you click about right here, and then you click on page transparency right here, it brings up this right here. It talks about when the page was set up and all this kind of stuff. And then you hit see all. And right here at the bottom, go to ad library. You can see all the ads that business has run. So again, you can go in and, with other realtors and stuff, you like what they're doing. You can go in here and, people do this all the time. You could copy and paste, make it your own, whatever. Here's what I want you to see. Okay. This right here is an ad that Phil is running right now. Now, this is what he did. He went out to a new construction neighborhood where homes are being built and went in and met with, a couple of these builders and talked to them. They all want you to use their lenders, their preferred lenders. And they have already prepaid. They've bought down the rates. They've done all this kind of stuff. He went in and met with them and found out basically tell me what the minimums would be here. Like what credit score does a buyer need to even qualify for what you guys do? He got that figured out. What would be the minimum, what would be the monthly payment if they came in, like say with no money down and they applied to this program, they use you as the lender and all this kind of stuff. And then he basically put this ad together, which is running right now on Facebook. Okay. And this is all for, first-time home buyers looking for a new build. Okay. Frisco home buyers got 640 plus credit. Are you tired of wasting money on rent every month? Frustrated you make someone else wealthy, and right, going on down. And then he has this qualification. You may qualify if you have I'm going to play this quick 1-minute video that he put together. And I'm just trying to get your mind thinking a little bit. You could play on this if you want to. Listen to this video real quick.
Are you a Dallas area first-time home buyer with a credit score of 640 or above? Well, then listen up, because there is a new program out that could absolutely help you buy your first home, even a new home like you see in this community here. So if you want to stop throwing your money away on rent, if it's just finally time for you to step out on your own and join the ranks of homeowners all across North Texas, well, then this program could be for you. It's called the Smart Homebuyer Advantage Program. Get rid of the big down payments, keep the hard-earned cash you've saved up for closing costs in your pocket, get an interest rate that's affordable, and here's our program promise. We will never take you to a house that doesn't meet your needs. We're never going to take you to a neighborhood you haven't had a chance to check out already, and we're never going to go into a house unless you have a letter in your back pocket that says you can buy it if you like it. So save yourself the pain of submitting a ton of offers just to get the door slammed in your face. What have you got to lose, except maybe a landlord? So click the button down below. Just do it now. Are you a Dallas area first-time home buyer with a credit score of 640
Okay,
or
so
above?
let me hold on a minute.
Because there
Jeez.
is a new
Shut up,
program
Phil.
that could absolutely help you buy your first home.
Hold on.
Even a new home.
Oh my
like you
gosh.
see in this
How do I
community
get out of
here.
here?
So if you want to stop throwing your money away on rent, if it's just finally time for you to step out on your own and join the ranks of homeowners all across North Texas.
Stop. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so here's what I want to say. If it gets you thinking, here's what he does. People click on that link, okay? It takes them to he's got like a landing page set up. He's got some pictures of the homes and that kind of stuff. And then he basically set up your 10 to 15 minute discovery call. They click on that. It takes them to a Calendly link where they now set up a phone call with him. He's eliminating people right off the bat through the text and through the video. 640 credit score, $2,600 a month payment or more. If they don't qualify for that, he might put them into his system and drip on them or help them with credit, whatever. But he stops right there with them. The people that do qualify for that, he now sets them up on a Zoom call. He gets on a Zoom for 30, 45 minutes, the couple together, and they talk about this program. They sign a buyer agency, usually on that Zoom. He emails it to them. He walks them through that while they're on the Zoom. They sign it, and now he's out taking them to look at these homes. Okay, he's run this a couple months now. Here's what he said. He's going to have 15 closings on new builds over the next 90 days. His phone is ringing off the hook, setting appointments, but eliminating a lot of people. It's a 5-minute call because a lot of people eliminate themselves. It's a funnel. It's a weeding out process. Okay. You could set up a landing page with KV Core or however you want to do it. There's other sites out there that do that. If you wanted to do something like this, think it through a little bit, because that might turn into something if you're looking to pick up some new home buyers. Whatever. I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to try, probably after we get done with this builder meeting, we got to get ready for. My plan right now is to go to a couple of our local neighborhoods where they're building, go talk to those, walk in the offices, find out what they need to do, their parameters with their programs. And I'm going to probably walk right down the street and do a video. I might even copy his script and do the same thing. I could have my own Smart Homebuyer Advantage program. That's his program. He named it. I'll lead him to a landing page. We'll have a phone call. We'll do the Zoom for those that qualify, and we'll get them set up to work with us, and we'll go look at new builds, and we'll get them under contract. That's sort of the plan right now. And if I do something like that, I'll probably do a whole training on that if I really get all that figured out and set up and get it together. But again, just to get you thinking a little bit, any of us could duplicate that idea with a little bit of work, meeting some builders and some lenders, and then just, putting that page together. Okay. So anyway, I don't know if that gets you thinking a little bit. I just wanted to share that because it's on this same topic. There's a lot of business out there with these new builds, coming into summer. So I don't know, Kathy, any thoughts on that? And do you want to share anything on that? I liked his idea. We had a great Zoom. Yeah. He talked for about an hour on this mastermind last week. I was like, it just got my wheels turning in a good way, so.
I love it. That's a great idea. Great tip. Yeah.
If I might add something to that, if you stop and think about it, the way this market is shaping up, and I don't think these interest rates are going to come down anytime soon. I don't care what the government's saying about it, and people are predicting this and that. They're not going to come down appreciably for a while. Maybe, who knows? But until they do, working with new home builders there's some advantages that you can't get anywhere else. other than working with new home builders. I think working with new home builders is going to be a big opportunity over the next year or two. That's what I think. And I'm already starting to make some moves in that direction as well. Came up with some good ideas here in this video. Appreciate it. But I think that's the big opportunity over the next couple of years is new builds.
Yeah. There's a lot there for sure.
One other thought that just comes to my mind, just as we're sitting here, and it's not really about new build, but I just did this a week and a half ago. There's a new build situation going on in Nashville that I'd heard about. And in Nashville, you can't find short-term rental properties unless you're owner occupied, the way that they've changed the rules and what have you on that. But I found out, there's a handful of developments, most of them that are qualified, that are new construction, and most of them are 800 and above. Well, I found out about this one small development that's only going to have 6 units in it, and they're 699,000. They're 4-bedroom, 4-bath. So I've started calling just some of my people that I know are open to investing and what have you, past clients. And so we got one under contract. And so my point to that is with EXP, we've got Zenlist, which is off market properties. And so what if you either know about again, going back to the networking, find out about properties from other people or other new construction. This was a new construction that's not on the market yet. And already 3 of the 6 are sold. They haven't even started advertising them. But what if you could go out and just find some things that are off market, and especially if they're good investment properties, and just start making calls to your database, bringing them something of value. Even if they're not interested in looking to buy, they're going to appreciate the fact that you're thinking of them, that you're being proactive in your business, all of those things. So just another thought that happened, just this past week, this house, $699,000 that we got under contract just because I started making a few calls when I heard about this development. So we all have those. And again, with EXP, we have Zenlist now. So those are off-market properties that you can go drum some business up from. Look, this property is not on the market. It's a great investment property. Somebody's going to really do well with this, in my opinion, blah, blah, blah. So just another thought about, we're going to have to get creative about what we're doing in business. Like I love that you just showed Jeff, that idea. That's people calling you. You're going to get the phone to ring for people that I fit that criteria. How do I get in with less money and keep more of my money? Like Phil talked about in that video.
Yeah. Just ideas. So Sean, did you see my comment I put a comment in there. You were asking about that video. I don't have an actual video training that I did on that CMA thing. Aaron, I just do exactly what Aaron does. He and I do a lot of the same stuff. So Aaron Ken, he talked about that in about the first 18 minutes of that video that I sent you right there. If that's what you're looking for, the video CMAs, is that what you're looking for?
You did it. It's actually funny. It's probably been a couple of years. You used to do a short training. I know you've done a lot of trainings and things, but I remember you talking about you could run a market snapshot in KV Core.
Oh, for like on KV Core?
Yeah. And you can create just a market
Okay.
snapshot for like a neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And then your tip one time was, get on the Nextdoor app, post a market snapshot of just that neighborhood, once a month. And people, you would get hits as an easy lead generation source. I was going to share it with my group. I don't do Nextdoor or anything, but I think it's an easy tip.
Sure.
But I couldn't find it in KV Core is what I was asking. Market snapshot.
So what I've done, I do the KV Core thing where, like I'll search a neighborhood and post it like on Facebook and LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff to bring in leads. You talking about, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. They used to have a more generic, already promulgated form, but yes, you could do a search and just do it by that neighborhood. And then it would create results. And then that would give you a link that you could post that link. Yes. And you could do it in a landing page where they could register to access it or just give it to them. And it will have your contact info on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
That was
sure.
it.
Okay. I post it, I do that. I did it last week. I'll post like an online home evaluation. I'll do that multiple times a week, on different things. I'll post, like, I'll do a search. You can do a search on KV Core, like on your homepage of, like, you know, first time home buyers, like pick, you know, I could do all of Colorado Springs, for example, up to like 350. Here's our first time buyer homes. And I could post that. I could do a zip code. I could do school districts. I could do, you know, 400 to 600 price range. I could do $1 million and up. And I could, you know, you could do that over and over and over multiple times a day. And if you do that consistently, you'll get leads coming in on that, you know, people clicking on that. And especially, like, you know, like for us, you know, we got a lot of corporate people moving in here, a lot of growth here in the spring. So, you know, you could do a search, say, like, you know, 800,000 and up, and put that on LinkedIn, you know, and you'll start getting some of these kind of things if you do it consistently. Yeah, but you got to just think about your area, your neighborhood. But that's what I've done. I don't remember the next door thing. I'm sorry. But I've done the other, what I'm talking about right there. I do that a lot, you know, and we do get leads from that.
Tracy, what are you doing? Because I know we were on another mastermind before this together, and you said you had 5 closings happening. And I mean, you're just always moving and shaking and making things happen. So what are you doing this first quarter that's just generating your business?
Well, let's see, out of these 5 closings, I think a couple of them are referrals, one from Melvin out in California. But I'm just making sure that pipeline stays full. I'm always convincing people to put their applications in, talking to people about staying in their homes too long, trying to get them to sell their homes. So it's just building those conversations, building those relationships through conversations. And that's what I'm doing.
The things you mentioned that I thought was so good is on the mastermind we were on, is you just talk about having people put the belief in people that they can be homeowners. And so talk a little bit about that, because I loved how you just described that on the other call. It's people don't believe that they can, right? But talk about with conversations that you have, and talk a little bit more. You just touched on that they stay in their homes too long. So touch on both of those and how you're having that conversation like you did on the last one.
Okay. So, boss moves, they call me the boss lady, but it's really birthed out of helping people to, first of all, the B stands for believe, helping them to believe that they can own multiple homes, overcome what's blocking them, so what they just learned, so they can better serve their communities. And so, so belief is the main thing. It's hard a lot of people just really don't believe, as Kathy said, that they can be a homeowner. And so I talked to them about, you know, do you want to own a home? I mean, for new agents that are out there trying to drum up business, I remember one of the things I did when I first moved to Atlanta was I got into an Uber so I can meet people. And if I'm picking them up from an apartment complex, they're obviously not a homeowner. And so I would get them in the car and I would say, hey, I do this part-time. My main goal is to meet people and put them in homes. And so are you a homeowner? Because they could be certainly visiting a friend and they may own a home. And they would say no. And so I would breathe that belief into them. Like, when do you want to own a home? Oh, my credit is here. You know, we specialize in giving you a plan. And so the dream is going to always be a dream until you wake up and put some, you know, work clothes on it. And so you really have to apply so you can at least see where you are, allow a lender to give you a free plan. And then from there, you know, they're going to get you in a home. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so getting them to just apply is the main thing. You really have to become an expert at convincing people to apply. And that's how the pipeline stays full. I have about 10 or 15 people applying at all times. I was speaking also about how African-American home ownership numbers are at their lowest since the 1960s. And so when I talk to my African-American brothers and sisters, I'm like, how could they have more homes in 1960 than we have in 2024 with all the resources and money that we have? How could that be? And so we have to change the trajectory of those numbers. And so I use that as a way to get my African-American people to apply. And a lot of it, they just don't believe it. Some of them come from homes where they've been renting all their life and their parents rented and they just don't know. And so that lack of information is something we have to really hone in on and breathe that belief into them. And then so once you get several of them to apply, it could be 10 of them that are just not ready, but at some point they're going to be ready and you're going to be that agent. And there's nothing more gratifying than being that agent that brought them out. And then the next thing you know, they're going to tell their family, their friends, you know, Tracy told me this and I believed her and it happened. I never thought it could happen for me. I mean, the reviews are going to be amazing. And so that's what the lenders say about me. They like me. I'm the most referring agent they have. Like, you give me so many people. And so that works for me. And I just, you know, plead upon you guys who are looking for business that You really master getting people to apply. And then the ones that stayed in their homes too long, I was talking to a guy the other day. I said, how long have you been in your home? He said, I've been in my home 16 years, you know, and some of them think that's, I mean, it's nice if that's where you want to retire, but you know, he's saying he wants to leave it to his kids. I said, your kids aren't going to want to go back to that house. I mean, like, you should have flipped that house, bought at least 2 or 3 homes since then, you know? So just helping them to believe and understand what equity is. You'd be surprised how many people are just not educated on the whole process and the wealth building. Yeah. So take that time to educate them. Does that help?
So good. Yeah. I
Good
think
stuff. Great
so good.
stuff.
It's just breathing that belief into people, because people just sometimes just don't think the general public who's never owned a home, they really have no idea what it takes. And they really have no idea, even to Phil's video, that there's programs in every city. I'm sure, I know there's one in Nashville, that you can get in for a first time home buyer with no money down. Basically, people have no idea that that's most people, many people have no idea that that's even an option. You know, and that's one of the things, kind of talking about that, that's one of the things that I feel like has been that's led to my success over the years, is in my networking. I network with a lot of different lenders that are in different forums, like the mortgage company, a credit union, a bank, right? And so I want to know all the programs that they have available that are unique over and above what, you know, the traditional loan program is out there, the FHAs, the, you know, VAs, the conventionals. And I can't tell you, similar to what Tracy was talking about, over my career, how many times I have been able to put people in homes because I knew of different programs that were out there. And so it's getting ourselves educated and staying educated on the new things that are going on. Like right now, interest rates the last year and a half, they're higher. Lenders are doing some creative things, right, to help buyers get into homes, right? There's just different creative ideas that they're coming up with. So it's our job, I feel, as an agent, to know what those are, because we're the ones out there having these conversations, sending them over to the lenders. DC, out there getting your morning walk in California. I see your hand up, bud.
Yeah, I need it. Hey, great stuff. Good to see you again, Kathy. Yeah, what we do out here, the success team, we put on a home buyer seminar every month. And we go from real estate one-on-one. About over 10 plus years ago, I became an expert on the down payment assistance program. So we go through that area. But the most importantly, we let them know exactly what they're going to expect during the process. And 100% out of the 100%, we have someone that's ready to go, get qualified, and get ready to go into escrow. So a key is that, you know, I know from where I grew up, the only thing that was really talked about at the kitchen table was what kind of grades did you get, and hell, I barely got into college, but they never talked about financial planning, and that's the one thing I wanted to learn as I in my young adult age is financial planning, understand how money works. And so the average person, they understand how to go out there and buy a Tesla, but they don't know how to go out there and invest in Tesla stock. So that's something that we really move and make our folks understand and educate them on that. So the education is so key. Once you educate them, they'll ask you what the next step is.
Yeah, that's so good. How do you market your, what are your methods of marketing your monthly class?
Well, what we do is that we actually put it on Facebook. We actually have our agents go out there and bring people on. I'll actually go to my clients and they'll actually invite people. So we'll just send out a blast in terms of an invite. And we kind of been low in numbers, but we're actually going to start using Eventbrite as well and some other methods. But the folks that have gotten on, we've even invited realtors to come on as well. And they will tell us that they've never heard and they have not been in any kind of class such as ours, because we just give it meat potatoes, no fluff, but this from A to Z, this is what you need to do.
That's good. Anybody else doing homebuyer seminars on a regular basis? Nobody
They're
else.
great to do.
You know, the one thing that comes to mind too when you're talking, Daryl, is again with this whole NAR stuff and to what Tracy was talking about. You get these people trusting you right off of the bat. You're educating them. You're not going to have a problem with them signing your, buyer agency commission agreement and just educating them on how you get paid, right? Those are
Yeah.
all buyers that you're going to have no problem with at all
Exactly.
through this, situation that's going on. So there's a lot of different win-wins, but more importantly for them, just getting people into home ownership. And, it is the number one tool for wealth building
Yeah.
for people. And I love how you go about it from the financial wealth building process and financial planning and how money works and all of that. I love that angle with it. So
I did a home seller seminar and it was amazing. And I got a good listing, a $500,000 listing out of Nashville from doing the home seller seminar. So a lot of times we do home buyers, but what are we doing to help the sellers to prepare for getting their homes on the market and what they can expect and all the things that you can educate them on? I think what I did, I had a home inspector, with the suggestion of maybe getting your home inspected before you list it so you can know exactly what's going on with it. I had a pest control person, the pests are big in Georgia. And trying to think what else I had on there. Someone to talk about staging if they want to stage it. Of course, we have the virtual staging now, which is so much more economical. But yeah, so home seller seminar is something that you want to consider too. They hopped on and I got a listing right away. So that was really cool.
I love that too, because, I literally just had a conversation with somebody that were listing their home. They've never sold a home before. It's their first home selling. They have no idea, just like a first-time home buyer, right? This first-time home seller has no idea what to do. They're looking for that guidance. They're looking for somebody to help them through the process. And so I love that idea, Tracy. And to be honest, I've never done a home seller. I've done home buyer ones. I've never done a home seller. So it sounds like you said they hopped on. So did you do yours over Zoom?
I did. Yeah, I did it by Zoom because honestly, with me, for the home buyer seminars, I bought the donuts, had the lenders and everything, and people just don't show up the way I would want them to show up. And so we just started doing Zoom because that was the most popular thing at the time. And yeah, Zoom worked out really good. Hopped on. It was a Saturday morning, coffee and conversations about home selling.
And you just market that through your past clients and social media?
Yep, that's exactly what I did. I did a flyer. I had the faces of the people that were going to be talking. And yeah, and it went out there and I told them to push it too. And honestly, I think I had maybe 10 people on the call, but one of them allowed me to list their home and they were in Nashville. Yep. It's really
Saturday
good idea.
well worth spending a couple hours.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. Knock it out.
Has anybody else done that? Anybody
That's
else
really
done
good.
a home
I like that.
seller? Yeah, I like it too.
You talk about decluttering, different things like that. You just give them all the ideas that you can give. Getting your house ready for it and when would you want to list, and do you know your payoff? Just all the information they need. Also, we talked about, I think I had an attorney on there as well. We talked about probate and the things that can happen if you inherited a home, what to expect with that. So all those different things are ways to have seminars. Even if you do one just for probate, I just inherited a home, what do I do next? That call could probably be a fire one,
Interestingly, I've had 3 of those this past year and talking about, I literally just had a conversation with one of our agents that's down there in Atlanta, Jackie, you know her, Tracy, who specializes in probate. I called her. I was like, girl, I know you specialize in this. I've had 3 just in the last probably 9 months probate that I'm selling. And these poor souls are completely lost. Like when they inherit a home, they too, just like a first-time home seller or a first-time home buyer, they have no idea. Somebody's named them as an executor, whether it be, family friend or whether it be the family member, and they really have no idea. And so it's such a great service. I feel like for agents that are educated in that space to be able to handhold somebody through that process. And I've really seen it more this year than probably ever before.
Yeah. And there's nothing like that attorney giving them the assurance that no one's going to get, left out. Things are going to go the right way. Things are going to be divided the right way. And when you get that whole family, I've had to have a Zoom call with a whole family before just to get them, you know, acclimated to what's going to happen. You need to know what's going to happen. And yeah, and then make them feel much better because, you know,
Better
once
about it. That's right.
yeah, somebody's talking this, somebody's talking that. This is what I heard. Let's not talk about what we heard. We have an attorney here to give you the exact facts of what the way it's going to go. And it's so much more comforting, and it makes things
Yep.
go faster too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're definitely motivated to move them, get them sold. So,
Really good.
we've got about another 2 minutes. One thing that I'll just throw out real quick, which has nothing to do with real estate, but they have closed our schools today because we're expecting really bad weather coming through Nashville. So I know I've got a lot of praying people on here. So if you'll just pray for Nashville, they're just talking tornadoes, like the weather's just really right around here. And so, yeah, for all my praying friends on here, just pray for safety for everybody through here. So they literally closed all the schools, letting people out, go home, what have you. So
For sure.
Yeah.
And
All right.
just real quick to wrap it up, guys, a couple of things. I just posted, if you have not watched it yet, I just posted a link there also. You know, EXP, you know, the NAR settlement thing was announced on Friday, a couple weeks ago. Monday, EXP had a live, you know, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, where they did a whole hour on the NAR settlement, and it was awesome. And if you haven't watched it yet, 48,000 people watched it live. They've rebroadcast it, I think, 2 or 3 times since. I mean, it's over 100,000 views altogether, but just great perspective on what's going on with that. So I put the link right there. You know, if you haven't watched it yet, I would encourage you to watch it. It'll give you a good perspective on it. And the other thing too, I'm going to post this as well. There's an article that I read, you know, there's so much misinformation out there on the whole NAR thing, you know, and of course the media, you know, lead the way with, to some degree, you know, CNN articles and all kinds of stuff. Real estate's done as we know it. It's like, come on, it's like the sky is not falling in real estate. I'm just saying, the media was just taking it out of the MLS as far as the buyer commission. That's essentially what's gone on here. But, you know, this guy here, he's a realtor, been a realtor for 40 years. I'm going to paste this here as well. Big link, but it's an article that you could read. This guy wrote just you know, like the 5 or 6 misperceptions of what's going on with the NAR settlement. It's just a good thing, came out, you know, about that same time, but just, you know, it's in progress. This is a very influx sort of thing. We'll be talking about it more and more. I would tell you, if you're with the EXP, if you're not, keep watching what we're doing, because, you know, I think we're just ahead of the game on that. I think, you know, I know a bunch of the top agents all met together and masterminded on it, you know, later that week. And so I think we're going to just see things rolling out here, new documents to, you know, scripts and role play and training and all kinds of stuff that I think EXP has just really got us handled in such a great way with this. I know there's some companies I'm talking to, they haven't talked a thing about it yet, you know, trying to figure it out. So I love that we're part of something where you've got really the best agents across the country here to kind of lead the way with this thing. So anyway, just a couple of things there. I do want to announce, Kathy, tomorrow we're starting a new event or a new weekly thing. And just for all you guys that come here, I mean, just if you want to pop in, be great. You know, a lot of people, you know, they do miss sometimes that we don't have an office or whatever. Of course, we're nationwide. There's people on here from all over the country, which I love. Every Wednesday, we're just going to start doing a thing, just what are we calling it? Connect to collaborate. Yeah, it's going to be every Wednesday, same time, same Zoom link. You can pop in, pop out, whatever. It's just a great way to just connect. And, you know, a lot of us, the founders, will be on there. Just any questions we can answer. It'll be kind of like this, maybe to some degree, but we're going to do it on a weekly basis, just to come in and be able to, you know, meet some other agents, almost like a water cooler chat kind of thing, but doing it on Zoom. It might last for half an hour. It might go the full hour. It might go 20 minutes. I mean, just, it'll probably vary every week, but it could build up to where it's something, we're just going to do that every Wednesday at the same time, same Zoom link. So just know that that's there. Do you want anything to that, Sean, Kathy, either one of you?
No,
You know, sir, good place to come if you've got a deal going. I mean, for multiple things, but if you got a deal going on and you're like, man, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to best work through this situation. I don't know how to, you know, best have this conversation. This is where we can all come together and just help one another. So, you know, come with anything you want to talk about. But if you're having a struggle with the deal and you want some other ideas, this will be a good place to bring it to. Sean, what were you going to say?
Yeah, just, I know we talked about the idea of maybe once a month, like on a Thursday at, you know, 4 o'clock or something, having some kind of a happy hour sort of get together. If whoever wanted to, again, to come in and maybe not talk real estate, just all of us get to know each other better, relationship building, and if obviously it turns into what can we help you with, all that kind of stuff. But what would everybody think about maybe a once a month, the last Thursday of the month or something at 4 p.m. Central? Everybody wants to jump on. If you want to get yourself a glass of iced tea, glass of wine, whatever you'd like to do, we all just kind of powwow. What's people's thoughts on that? We want to create a camaraderie that's truly amazing, where you guys feel like if everybody keeps coming on here and we have a couple where we just sit and kind of talk out, man, let's all get to know each other, be referral partners. What can we do to truly help each other and get deep into these relationships with one another so we can all support each other?
Yeah.
What's everybody's thoughts on that?
I love it.
That's great, Sean.
It's
Okay.
The
great.
team and I were talking about it yesterday,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
getting the group once a month. I remember the tagline that Gene Frederick came out with, making real estate fun again.
Yeah.
So we ought to take that truth off. We're out there grinding on a daily basis. Me, I love to have fun. I'm going to take fun to the max. So that's something that we should do.
I got lots of stories. I can tell about the couple that kept their horse in the house. I can tell that story when we have a happy hour. That was a good one. Have a drink over that one. That was crazy. I don't know. We all have fun things that have happened.
Yeah,
we all have
I
crazy
got
things
that.
that have happened to us over the years. It would
I
be
can
fun to
share a
get together.
story. I'll be able to share a story of when I had an abscess on a cruise and wound up in a hospital in Jamaica and barely made it back on the cruise ship, having to climb a ladder. Pretty crazy story, but may have to have 2 glasses of wine before I could even share that.
Oh my goodness.
We all get
nice.
stories. We can have a little fun, a little laughing, be all good for all of us.
Yeah. There's lots of stories to tell. So anyway, guys, we'll be back next Tuesday. Next week, we're talking funnels. We're actually talking funnels and online lead generation, converting those funnels. We got a great guy coming in with EXP. It's going to be awesome. So that'll be next week, same time. We'll see some of you guys tomorrow. Pop by if you can. We'll be in here from same time, 11 a.m. Eastern time for an hour or so, hanging out. So anyway, great to see everybody. Okay. If you're a guest with us, thank you. Okay. You're always welcome. So we do this every week.
Hey,
Keep
Jeff.
joining us. Yes. Yes, Heather.
Hey, cuz. Sorry that I'm cutting you
My
off.
cousin. That's my
I'm at
cousin in
Costco.
Indiana right there. Go ahead, Heather. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm at Costco.
Oh.
I had to squeeze it. I was prepping my taxes all day yesterday. So anyway, I wanted to ask you guys about virtual staging and Yelp. I started a Yelp. I don't know if you guys have a Yelp page. Great advice about the Google page, but I'm just like, I don't know where these millennials are looking. And so I've been running a Yelp ad. They charged me like $160. I got nothing except for a call from Afghanistan or something, I'm going to say,
Okay.
pretending to be Yelp. And I was like, no, it says Yelp when they call and I have my contact person. So has anybody used that?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I don't want to use it. I'm trying to cut it off. I'm like, not working.
Yeah.
What
Well,
a
at least
waste of money.
it wasn't too expensive. That's good. I've spent thousands of dollars on things that didn't work before.
Yeah.
You kick yourself after that one, but no, it's
Oh yeah.
at least we know nobody else using Yelp in that way. Anybody? No. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
And then virtual staging, is anybody using any special apps or anything?
We use boxbrownie.com. That's a good website to
Okay.
do that. Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. They do a great job with it. It's easy to do. Yeah. We have a couple listings right now where we've got some virtual staging going on, Lane and I.
Nice.
So, and I'm happy to talk to you offline about that, or I can show you, but you can go to
Sure.
boxbrownie.com and,
Okay.
and see that, how it works. They do all kinds of stuff. They can take a cloudy gray day with the brown grass in wintertime and turn it into a green grass summertime for like $1.60, I mean, they can
Wow.
do that. It's very inexpensive to do some of their stuff that they do. So yeah, boxbrownie.com.
Yeah.
So
Because virtual staging is like $25.
yeah, it depends on
Right.
what they're doing with it. Yeah, they have different prices in there. They can declutter and all kinds of stuff with what
Okay.
they do. So
So my
Nice.
quick opinion on that is they're good for pictures, right? But to me, I'm a huge fan of staging because when people walk into a home, it's an emotional process and what have you. So I'm a huge fan for actual staging, where I think virtual, obviously the benefit is for your pictures. But
Mhm.
but I highly recommend to my people, especially if it's in a vacant house, to have it professionally staged. But we can talk about that next week. Well, actually, we're having a trainer next week, but yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. we
We
talked
can
about
talk
it.
about tomorrow, yeah, so come
Yeah.
back and we can just chat more about that. And anybody else, you know, I'd love their opinion in between the both of them too, but.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you very much. We're running over, but appreciate you guys being here. Okay. Have a great
Thanks,
week.
everybody,
We're
for
here to
coming,
help.
everybody.
Obviously, call us
Everybody,
if
see
we
y'all
can help you with
tomorrow.
anything. Okay. See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.